I want you to picture something. It's 7 a.m., coffee's brewing, and you pick up your phone and open your favorite financial app. The one that tracks your net worth, your accounts, your investments, all in one clean little dashboard. And there it is, green check mark. You're on track for retirement. That should feel good, right? But here's the thing, for so many people I talk to, it doesn't. They're staring at a number that says they're fine, and they still feel this quiet nagging fear about actually spending the money. That disconnect isn't in your head, and it's not because the app is broken. It's because that app was never built to answer the one question that actually determines whether your retirement works. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what that question is and why no dashboard, no robo-advisor, and no net worth tracker can answer it for you. Let's get into it. Let's start with what these apps are actually good at. Net worth trackers, robo-advisors, brokerage dashboards. They're excellent at showing you a number, your balance today, your rate of return this year, maybe a retirement readiness score that spits out a percentage. And for 30, 40 years of your working life, that number was the whole game. Save more, grow the number, watch it go up. That's accumulation thinking. And honestly, it's not wrong. It's just incomplete. Because retirement isn't an accumulation problem, it's a distribution problem. Nobody hands you a dashboard for that. Let me show you why that gap matters so much with a simple illustration. Imagine two people. We'll call them David and Linda. Same age, same retirement savings, and over 20 years, they earn the exact same average rate of return. David retires into a strong market. His portfolio grows early, and even though he's withdrawing money every year, the growth outpaces his withdrawals in those first critical years. Linda retires in a downturn. Same average return over the full 20 years, but she's pulling money out while her account is already shrinking. That combination can permanently damage a portfolio in a way that's very hard to recover from, even if the market bounces back later. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it's one of the biggest threats to a retirement plan. It's also something your net worth app simply doesn't model because it's looking at where your balance is right now, not the order in which your returns and withdrawals happen over the next 20 or 30 years. That's problem number one. Now let's talk about something even harder to put on a dashboard. Here's something I've noticed after years of doing this work. The math is rarely the hardest part of retirement. The psychology is. Think about it. You spend 30 or 40 years being trained to do one thing. Grow the number. Save more. Don't touch it. Watch it climb. And then, on the day you retire, we ask you to do the exact opposite. Start spending it. On purpose. Every single month. For the rest of your life. That's a massive behavioral flip, and no app, no matter how sophisticated, tells you which dollars are actually safe to spend. So what happens? I see it constantly. Retirees who did everything right. They saved diligently, they hit their number. The app says they're on track, and they still won't spend the money. They white knuckle their retirement. They skip the trip. They eat out less than they can afford to. Not because they don't have enough, but because nobody ever showed them with confidence exactly where their income was coming from and why it would last. That fear isn't irrational. It's the natural result of having a net worth number with no income plan attached to it. A dashboard can tell you what you have. It can't tell you what you can safely spend month after month for retirement that could last 30 years. Now let's talk about that green check mark for a second, because I think it gives people a false sense of security. Most of these retirement readiness scores are built on averages. Average market returns, average life expectancy, average spending. And on average, over a long enough time horizon, markets tend to work out. But you don't retire on average. You retire on a specific date, into a specific market, and you have to live through the years right around that date, what I call the retirement red zone. That's roughly 5 years before you retire to about 10 years after. That window is when your portfolio is most vulnerable because you no longer have decades ahead of you to recover from a bad stretch. And an app built on long term averages generally isn't designed to protect that specific window. This is where it helps to separate two very different jobs your money can do: money you're growing and money you're turning into income. Those are not the same tool, and they're not the same mindset. Growth money can ride out volatility because it has time. Income money, the money you're depending on for groceries, for your mortgage, for the trip you promised yourself, needs a floor under it. Something that doesn't depend on what the market does in the exact years you need to withdraw. So, if an app can't solve this, what does? It starts with a real income plan, not a net worth projection, but an actual plan for how income shows up in your life month after month for the rest of it. That usually involves a few pieces working together: when you claim Social Security, and how that timing decision can meaningfully change your lifetime income; building an income floor, a baseline of guaranteed income that covers your essential expenses no matter what the market is doing; and then using the right tool for the right job. This is where something like a fixed indexed annuity, or FIA, can come in, not as a magic fix, and not as a replacement for your whole portfolio, but as one specific tool used to create income that doesn't rise and fall with the market in the years you're actually relying on it. I want to be really direct with you. This isn't about one product solving everything. It's about recognizing that growing money and generating income are two different problems, and most people have only ever been given the tools for the first one. This is a planning problem. It's not a product problem, and it's definitely not an app problem. So let's bring this all the way back around. A net worth app answers one question: how much do I have? An income plan answers a completely different question: how much can I safely spend? Where does it come from? In what order? And will it actually last as long as I do? Those are not the same question. And honestly, most people reach retirement having only ever answered the first one. That's the income problem no financial app can fix because it was never designed to. If you've been staring at your own on track checkmark and still feel that quiet uncertainty about actually spending your money, that feeling is telling you something. If you want to know more about how to plan for your retirement income, get the free booklet called "For Those Who Want to Prosper and Thrive in Retirement." Check out the link in the description box to get that information. And if this helped you see your retirement a little differently, hit subscribe. Every week on Retirement Security Simplified, we break down exactly this kind of thing. This is Retirement Security Simplified, where we specialize in turning confusion into confidence, one conversation at a time.